So thanks everyone for joining. This is Jim Crook with Ctera Marketing. I am joined today by Oded Nagel, our Chief Strategy Officer. Hi Oded, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Hello, everyone.
Great. So we are really excited, Oded and I, to take everyone through our new platform launch, Ctera 7.0, which we announced last week. We're going to use this time about 45, 50 minutes or so to take you through all the new features, give you the chance to ask questions. So you have the ability through Zoom to ask questions into the chat or the chat Q&A. We'll take as many as we can toward the end of the session, but we will leave time for question and answer. So if you have questions as we go, just type it into the chat and we'll do our best to address all of them. If we don't get to your question, we will follow up with you offline. So let's get started. Oded Nagel and Jim Crook here, as we mentioned. And right off the bat, we just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for joining. And as a token of our gratitude, we want to extend to you a free analyst report that we'll be issuing in the next couple of weeks here. It's from the Evaluator Group. And if you're familiar with the Evaluator Group, they are very much a leader in the research area of global file systems. We work with them closely, and we think their upcoming report, in which they look at global file system technology, why enterprises need a global file system, and really how Ctera 7.0 ticks all of the boxes, is going to be a great report. So just a heads up that we'll be sending this your way once it is available. And again, just a token of our thanks for joining today. And really, you might be curious, and maybe that's why you joined today. Starting to hear some of the news in the the industry publications, whether it's Blocks and Files, whether it's Search Storage, and Tech Target, Storage Newsletter, all writing last week about what we announced in version 7, and they're really understanding the value, I think, that Ctera 7.0 provides. Whether it's Chris Meller talking about enabling customers to ditch their robo NAS, taking on mainstream NAS suppliers, and helping you navigate that transition from the legacy storage vendors to a more modern cloud file system like Ctera. Philippe at Storage Newsletter similarly talking about how we really shaking the market with this major release. So we're excited that they're excited, and we are looking forward to take you through exactly why in this session, why this version of our global file system is really setting a new bar, setting a standard for global file systems everywhere. So before we get into that, just a quick reminder or quick introduction, if you're new to Ctera, on who we are. We are a company whose mission is to connect remote sites, remote users to your organization's cloud, or multiple clouds or hybrid clouds, without compromising security or performance. We were founded by several cybersecurity experts, and we take that same sort of approach to cloud file services, having that very secure, very data privacy centric solution in our global file system. We are a leader in this space. We have deployed more than 50,000 edge filers around the world in 110 countries. That number, 50,000, is by far the industry's #1 in terms of number of edge filers being deployed. And we're selling into some of the world's largest organizations, and you get a sense of who we're working with on the right. And we'll talk more about Gore as well in this presentation. But we're working with McDonald's, Stryker, Humana, GE, very well known, very well established brands who are embracing the Ctera global file system. At a high level of what we provide these organizations, and this is a very high level architecture that helps you understand what we do. We offer a global file system that supports any user, any site, any cloud, with full security and full control over the data. And so at the bottom of this right-hand architecture, you can see that we offer several access points to the file system, whether that's our Ctera Edge solution, which is a remote office filer for your branch offices, offering SMB NFS protocols, very similar to a traditional file server, but with a global file system object storage backend. Similarly, we offer a fully integrated endpoint client that's known as Ctera Drive, and this provides access to that same global file system, the same files that the office users have. So it's very good for collaboration and data synchronization in these COVID-19 days, where you have some folks in the office, some working from home. And then as well, we offer a VDI solution known as Ctera VDI. This is a technology that many organizations, perhaps yours, are starting to invest in again and investigate in as well as COVID produces this this quote new normal that we're all having to deal with. So any sort of data access point, whether that's at the office, for work from home users, mobile users, they all have access into the global file system. The global file system is powered by any sort of public or private cloud infrastructure. That can be hybrid cloud, that can be multi-cloud, whatever your organization is investing in today. We also offer a SaaS service for those organizations who are just looking for an entirely hands-off approach. And then we tie all that together with very high levels of data security, data insight. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the new tools that we've introduced that really tie in the control measures in the Ctera global file system. So it's a single platform that we offer that covers really a very wide range of use cases, from remote office, branch office. We are working with organizations worldwide to help them replace their legacy file servers or legacy NAS, migrate them onto the Ctera global file system. And Ctera Migrate is a key aspect of Ctera 7.0 that we'll talk about later in this session. And the platform really powers very high levels of multi-site collaboration. Through our global file system, users in London have same access to the file shares as users in Boston do, as users in Tel Aviv do. All this the continuous data sync across all these locations, providing very high levels of data of end user productivity. Endpoint file services, I mentioned our Ctera Drive client that delivers private file sync and share, a cache drive for your desktops, endpoint backup, as well as mobile collaboration. So, and then VDI workspaces that we talked about, and a definitely growing technology, and our ability to support that as well. Customers are very much interested in how we can help them there. And then we also support media-centric organizations, whether those are media and advertising firms with very large creative files that they need to manage, as well as many enterprises that have creative content teams. So we have specific solutions geared toward those types of deployments, whether that's high-res video, Mac OS, needing high levels of Mac OS support and cloud and video streaming as well. And then from a hyper-converged angle, we introduced the industry's first hyper-converged edge filer last year, known as our Ctera X series. So we have a number of customers today who are expanding beyond the simple filer or deployment into much more of a data consolidation, infrastructure consolidation play with our hyper-converged solutions, and there's a lot of interest around there as well. So I just wanted to provide that background as we move into what we call Ctera 7.0, and we think this is really setting a new bar for the multi-cloud global file system. And we really based it on 4 key pillars that we see as critical to an enterprise's adoption and productivity using a global file system. And these are the sort of things that customers really benefit from in our point of view when they deploy a global file system. And Oded will take you through these new features. First is Ctera Direct, which is a very fast file transfer protocol that's patent pending, and that we're really excited about, and really speed up the way that organizations can move files around the world. The second is Ctera Zones, which is a geo-segmentation feature that drives more security in the platform. Ctera Migrate is a new tool, a built-in automated tool within the system that enables much easier deployments and migration from moving from legacy traditional file servers to the Ctera global file system. And then Mac Assist. Many of our customers have heavy Mac users within their purview, and Ctera Mac Assist is making it much more easy to support those types of users and those types of organizations where Mac OS is a key operating system. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to you, Oded, and we can start to move through these specific features in Ctera 7.0.
Thank you so much, Jim. And just for a second, I'll try to take control.
There you go.
Excellent. So, so as Jim said during the presentation, I'll try to cover the main things that we added to 7.0, but we will definitely also talk about some other things that we did this year, and we will also show you some new directions that we are about to take. So the first thing that we did in 7.0, we decided that we need to improve significantly the performance of our sync technology. As you all know, the unstructured data in the organization is growing on a daily basis. The lines are growing, and the needs and the requirements to move data either from machine-generated data or for human-generated data is really growing on a daily basis. And with the new Ctera Direct, we were able to really change the speed of our sync performance, and you can see some of the numbers and the benefits that you are going to get in the next slide. Sorry. Jim, can you fix it? Sorry for the technical issues.
It says, do you have control now, Oded?
No, I gave it to you.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll pass it. I'll keep the screen.
Okay.
Going.
Can you?
Here we go.
Okay. Okay. So you can see here some of the things, and you can see the difference in the protocol. So we can move today around up to 30 terabyte of data in a single day. We already support almost any object storage in the industry with this new technology. You can see some of the names here. So we certified the new technology with Amazon, IBM, Dell EMC, Azure, Google, Skeleti, and many more. And one of the nice thing here is that with this new protocol is that, first of all, we didn't compromise on the security. So it's very secure. We encrypt all the data, and the data is fully stored, fully encrypted on the object storage. We do source-based deduplication and compression. So it's not just super fast, but it's super efficient, and we can reduce the cost and the change rate on a daily basis. And it doesn't really affect by latency. So even if you work with 50 milliseconds, 100 milliseconds in latency or more, you are not going to see a significant drop in our transfer rate from edge to cloud. So this is really a new technology that's going to help our customers to move data either from their edge locations or from any other locations to the cloud. As I said before, when we thought about designing the new Ctera Direct, we first of all we analyze what are the use cases that customer can benefit with this new technology, and you can see here some of the examples of very interesting for workloads that you're probably going to gain a lot of benefits using Ctera Direct. So we work a lot with advertising companies, which they create a lot of creative content, and their files are growing on a daily basis, and these are very large files which they need to move across the globe. So the Ctera Direct is a perfect fit for this workload. Healthcare imaging, it's another example of very good workload for this new technology. Distributed archiving, we have a lot of customers looking to archive petabytes of data to a cloud storage, and they need this fast access to be able to move a lot of data on a daily basis. And of course, other use cases like video surveillance or automotive. Basically, every industry that generate on a daily basis a significant amount of data can really benefit with the new technology of Ctera Direct. Another important thing that we added to the version, it's also very important to mention that it's built in our software. So it doesn't require any new license, or it doesn't require to pay extra for the migration tool. It's a new feature that is going to be it's already built in our Edge filer, and it's going to really help you guys to migrate data from your old legacy NAS solutions to the global file system. So we've built in a discovery and a migration tool in our Edge filer that will allow you to scan the data without any need to install a third-party software as well, and then migrate the data directly to the Edge filer and then to the cloud object storage. So you can see here some of the benefits of using the new tool. So it's basically an embedded tool, as I said before, inside our gateway. Doesn't require to install anything externally or to work with CLIs and things like that. There is a very slick and nice interface that you can configure the migration rules, and you can see the progress of the data, and you can analyze exactly the migration process. You can manage the data transfer almost from any legacy NAS solution. We already certified with multiple NAS vendors, but of course, if you have different requirement, please come to us and we'll see how to add it to the product. As I said before, the migration tool is not just migrating the data, but a very important feature that comes built in is also the data discovery. As you probably know, one of the main things that really cause some delays and complexity during migration projects is to understand actually what type of data do you have on your source, and what are the ACLs and the permissions that you already defined years ago. And using this discovery tool, you'll be able to analyze very quickly and very easily the data that you have on your source, and then plan correctly and efficiently the migration project. We already use it in different projects, and we were able to save more than 50% of the migration time in a single process. And the last thing is, of course, all the monitoring and the audit options built in the product, so you can get a full report on the progress if you had an error message during the migration, and you can schedule it also based on some advanced scheduling as well. Another important feature is what we call Ctera zones. It's as Jim said before, it's really allow you to segment your file system. When you work in a global organization, especially companies that are geo distributed, you don't necessarily want to expose all your global file system to all the remote offices or to all the departments in the organizations. So by having the Ctera zones, you really have the ability to divide, and manage in a single pane of glass the file system, and allow only specific subset of the folders to download to the specific edge location. So this is really easy to define. You can see on the right some of the web interface. So think about Ctera Zone as tagging of folders and users that by tagging them, you can assign dynamically the access rules according to the geolocations. So we can prevent internal data leaking between different business groups. For example, if you want to make sure that the HR department will not have access to the finance department, you'll be able to protect it with the Ctera zones and only expose to the specific location the specific data that should be available on the specific edge location. We can scale to thousands of sites without any problem, and everything from is actually from a single management platform. So you don't need to go and configure it from different locations. You can see the view of all the gateways, all the edge filers, and all the zones from a single pane of glass and define it in a single click. It's a very powerful technology, which I encourage you to test and see how you can implement it in your organization. Another important feature that we added to the product is a built-in embedded AV service, which, as you all know, or if you're not aware of, we already supported an AV scanning technology on the portal side, on the global file system side. We got requests from different customers to also add a built-in embedded engine to scan data on the edge filer itself. So I'm happy to announce that in 7.0 we have a new service that you can enable, and this will allow you to run an embedded AV engine powered by McAfee, which is one of the leading AV vendor antivirus vendors in the world. And then basically every file that you copy over the SMB, over the CIFS to the share, will be scanned automatically, and by doing that, we can make sure that you are not copying or distributing malwares into the gateway and then to the entire global file system. Again, this is a new service that you can enable through our global file system, and then download the signatures and start activating the service. Another important direction that, again, this is, in my point of view, only the beginning of what we plan to do in the next year. We are going to improve, and this version, as we said, we already have significant improvement, the user experience for Mac users. So we are going to really change the way Mac users are working with our gateways and as well with our agents. So we introduce a new Ctera Mac Assist application that we'll talk about it in a second. We added integration for the Finder built in on the Mac client and for the Mac OS search. And of course, we released a new mobile application, which is really a very sleek design that I encourage you to download for the Apple Store, and you'll see how easy it is to access the data and activate the new application on your mobile device. So if we drill down a little bit about the technology, so the first thing is what we call the Ctera Mac Assist. It's a new application that is available for free. You can download it from our website, which basically, once you install it on your Mac client, you'll be able to start seeing which files on our Edge filer is a stub, and which file is actually resides and stored locally on the hot storage. And then it will really improve the way that Mac clients are working with the caching technology, which up until now it was a little bit lacking, and it was very hard to understand which file is accessed locally already and available already locally on the local cache, and which file needs to be downloaded from the cloud. We also integrated with the Mac search capability, a Mac Finder search on the Mac, so you can index all your files on our Edge filer and then search from your Finder, and you'll be able to see all your files very easily, and including the stubs. And we also maintain the ACL, so if you don't have access to a specific folder, and if you search for a file that is available on specific folders without the right permissions, you'll not be able to access it. So we didn't compromise also on the security side. We are also protecting the users from accessing data that they are not allowed to access. In addition to it, we also released a mobile application. The mobile application is a new sleek native mobile application for iOS and as well for Android. It includes a very nice feature set starting from Face ID, files integration, active tracking, shortcuts for offline folders, iPad support, keyboard and mouse support. So everything is built in. All the feature sets that we already have, like collaboration and shared with me and shared by me, is already available on the new application. So if you didn't use it yet, please go to the Apple Store or to the Android Store and download it, and you'll see how easy to start using the mobile application and get access to your data from anywhere, from any device. And actually now I think with the COVID days, right, everybody's working from home, everybody are working from remote, and one of the main missions that we took at Ctera is to improve this access method and allow you as a Ctera user to access your data from any device, from anywhere, from any location with the most optimized way. So this is really a new application that I encourage you to download and get the best user experience from the mobile. Another important thing that we added this year, and again, this is not specifically related to the 7.0 release. However, this is a very strategic move that we decided to took this year at Ctera, and we released in April. I think it was in April or beginning of the year, a new SDK that we call Ctera DevOps for SDK. So it's a new open source SDK that is based either on Python or Ansible tools that you can easily download. It's completely for free as well. And by having this SDK, you can almost define and program or provision anything from our system through the SDK. So, for example, if you want to just install a new filer using the SDK, you can do it in 60 seconds. If you want to create some scripts or push some configuration or define new shares, you can do everything from a single pane of glass through the SDK. It's very easy to program. And of course, if you need any support from our team, you are more than welcome to contact us, and we'll be more than happy to train you about the SDK. We are all the time improving and add more functionality to the SDK. And we have many customers already using it in production in a large scale environments. And this is really improving their way to manage the infrastructure. So if you need more information, please contact us and we'll be happy to provide it. Another interesting thing that we plan to launch actually, and this is still a beta version, it's still a beta, but it's coming very soon, and we will do a specific training and we'll provide more information about it probably in a month from now. But we are coming with a new service that we are going to call Ctera Insight. It's basically a SaaS service that will provide two main things. First of all, it will provide the ability to monitor and to review the status of the system in a single pane of glass. Yeah, so you can see here different type of statistics about the platform, like CPU, memory, error messages, and things like that. But it will not just doing a monitoring services, it will also be a very advanced tool for file assets and data analytics. So you'll be able to see all the file types, the size, you can see the usage trends inside your global file system, and many other things will come along with the new service. You'll also be able to see the edge device status monitoring. So you can see here on the left an example of a edge location. So you can see his location, you can see his caching thresholds, you can see all type of information about specific edge, and you can see it from a single pane of glass. So this is a new service that we are about to launch. If you are interested to register to our beta version and to our beta test, let us know. We already have customers using this technology, and we'll be happy to get your feedback before we go live as a general availability this quarter. So let's talk a little bit about the Ctera product family. As you know, our product family is built from different components. So we have what we call the Ctera Edge filers. The Ctera Edge filers can come either as a virtual software, which can either run on VMware, KVM, Amazon, Hyper-V. So we almost support any platform, and there are different type of licenses starting from 16 terabyte local cache to 128 terabyte local cache, which is a very large cache option, and I think that we are the only one that can really support this large cache for different workloads. And then you can actually run it almost on any hypervisor, as I managed before as I mentioned before, sorry. The second option is our physical appliances. So you can also buy an all-in-one solution from us, meaning that you can buy the hardware as a bundle together with our Edge Filer technology software, and we'll show you some of the options in a second. And as Jim said earlier in his presentation, we also came last year with the first hyper-converged gateway, which it's the first unified gateway in the industry that combine file services and application services on top of a single hardware, and we'll present more about it in a second. And then on the software side, you can see our Ctera Drive app. It's basically our file sync and share technology and our endpoint backup, which in this case you don't need a gateway. You can just install a software on your PC or on your mobile and get access to your data. You have the Ctera portal, which is the global file system that can come in different ways. It can come either as a fully private solution, so you can install it fully on-prem and connect it to your own cloud storage. You can run it as a VPC on a public cloud, like in Amazon, Azure, Google, or IBM Cloud, of course, or you can get it from us as a hosted service, either as a SaaS or a hosted VPC, depending on your requirements. So if you like to get more information about the deployment model, and please contact us and we'll be happy to share all the information. And maybe the most important thing as well is the add-ons. So we integrated and we are about to integrate more with different add-ons like security add-ons for antivirus and DLP, the inside add-ons, some other add-ons that are coming very soon. So we are going to reach our integration points with different companies and allows you to integrate our global file system with almost any enterprise software that you have in your organization. Um, so you can see here in a high level all the options for our gateways. So on the left is the virtual appliance. As we said, we support up to 128 terabyte of cache and up to 5,000 users on a single gateway. So this is really flexible, and we can meet different requirements. And then on the hardware side, we can start with a small office gateway that can use up to 100 users. It's a micro server technology, very light, and up to one or two node servers. Recently, we also launched last year a media edition gateway for media workloads, as I said before, and you'll see in a second some of our customers from the media space, an example of one case study. So we came with a media edition gateway that's really designed to support media workloads, which has different requirements. And the last thing, which I think it's the most advanced gateway in the industry, is the X series, or the first unified hyper-converged gateway that we built in together with, in this case, with HPE, which provide you local high availability, local deduplication, data protection, all in one, and also allows you to run the tier one applications and the file services on a single gateway. On the button, you can see our application option. So we have the Ctera Drive app. This is basically the Drive Share. It's the file sync and share technology. The Drive Protect, which is the endpoint backup technology, and the Ctera Drive Server for the server backup. And the last thing is the mobile applications that we just released a new one, which is really the top technology, which I encourage you to download and test. So I know that you have some Q&As. We will try to go over the Q&As later on. And if not, we will send you the answers after the webinar. So you'll get answers for all your questions. but we will leave some room for to answer them. So I would like to jump and talk a little bit about the case studies. So the first case study that I would like to share is a company called Gore. It's a very large multinational manufacturer, actually, company for fabrics, and they have tens of sites across the globes. And in these sites, they actually had legacy NAS solutions, either NetApp or Windows Server, and they look for a way to simplify the branch management and as well to reduce the cost and move data to the cloud and improve the collaboration between the remote offices. So they chose Ctera as the main solution. So they basically replace all their legacy NetApp filers with our global file system. They used our edge filers on their branches to act as an NAS, as a network share. So from a user's perspective, nothing changed. They kept the same ACL, the same user experience, but they were easily migrate the data to the cloud. They were easily reduce their cost by saving the footprint at the edge. Instead of keeping all the data on expensive NetApp, they can just keep the most recent data locally on their storage at the edge and move all the rest of the data to their cloud. So this was really simplified their management and reduced their costs quite dramatically. And you can see a very nice quote from the customer here on the left. And I encourage you to read more about it also in the articles that were released a few days ago. Another interesting case studies is Glenn Davis, which is a very large Canadian branding and design agencies. Before we move to the case studies, we are going to have a joint webinar with Glenn Davis in 2 days, together with HPE. So if you are interested to hear more about how they use the product, why they decided to use Ctera, please, you are more than welcome to join our webcast, which is on Thursday. I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Jim, do you remember the exact time?
No, it's at 11 a.m. Eastern
11.
time.
Sorry, yes, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Sorry, I was mixed up with the time zones.
Yep.
But so this is again the customer and their IT executive are going to be on the webcast. So if you're looking for more information, I encourage you to join this session as well. And you can see here some of the goals and why they chose Ctera. But basically, what they are looking was to reduce their footprint and also provide a secure way for their designers to access their data, either over the WAN and also on the LAN. And the Mac user experience was very, very important for them as well. So the customer chose to buy our X Series Edge filer, and by buying the X Series Edge filer, they were able to consolidate all their file services, but also to consolidate all their applications to a single cluster and really reduce the footprint at their main office. They are using our technology, I think, now more than a year. They are very happy, and as I said, they will provide more information about how to use the product and all the benefits in 2 days in our session. So Jim, I think back to you.
Thank you, Oded. Great insight into what's new in 7.0. Thank you for taking us through that. So just to wrap up and summarize, and you know, when we say we're setting the bar for the global file system, what do we mean by that? Well, we mean that we're really bringing the best of file, the best of cloud. That's the best use case coverage. We talked about all the use cases that we support, from robo to multi-site collaboration to endpoint VDI, on and on. We talked about the best choice of cloud, the ability to support any type of on-premises or object or cloud or object infrastructure that you're working with, and to support multiple clouds as well. We talked about the best scale. Oded just mentioned that we support up to 128 terabyte local cache on the filer, and with Ctera Direct, we're driving up upwards of 30 terabytes or more syncing per day per site, which is unparalleled in the industry. the best security. We brought all of the security that you enjoy on-prem to a cloud-based global file system. We are approved by the DISA APL, which is the Approved Products List, which is where the U.S. DoD and other federal agencies buy their IT infrastructure from. So we are available there. And this is a significant and representative of the type of security that we built into the platform. So if you have any sort of data privacy or security stringent requirements in that area, we urge you to take us up on what we talk about there and take a spin through how our platform can help you manage those challenges. From a scale, we talked about the ability to support anywhere of tens to thousands of sites and users. We've got deployments with thousands of remote sites and hundreds of thousands of users. And from a control standpoint, we talked about all the new features in the platform, from migration tools to insight and health of the global file system tools, our SDK that Oded walked through as well. So we're offering really the top levels of control. So all this put together, we really think that we're setting the bar in the global file system space again. And we want you to get started with Ctera 7.0. If you're a customer, current Ctera customer, call us up and we can talk you through how we can upgrade you. But if you're new to Ctera, we'd love to give you a free trial and get you started working with 7.0. So as another thank you for joining, we're offering a free trial for everyone who attended today. We'll be able to provide you with a free Ctera Edge filer and a cloud service for 60 days. You can hop on and sort of work your way around the platform and see how it can work within your organization. We'd be happy to set you up with that. Just you can either go to our demo page and leave 7.0 webinar as a comment, or you can email sales@ctera.com and we'll get you set up with that free trial as soon as possible. And from a 7.0 resources standpoint, please feel free to peruse our website, ctera.com/technology/7.0. We built a whole new web page there with all the details. We built new web pages around all of the features that Oded just mentioned, so you can go there and for more information and for more learning, you can check that out. You can get a live demo anytime. Just stop by our demo page. And then you can always read more and learn more about what we're doing on the Ctera blog. You can subscribe to that blog if you'd like, and we've written new material on the 7.0 launch as well that can further supplement your learning around 7.0. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to open up for Q&A. We've got a number of questions that have come in. We're going to do our best, as Oded mentioned, to get through as many of them as we can. But if we don't get through all of them, we will follow up with you offline. Oded, one question that came up around Ctera zones is how many zones can an organization support with Ctera zones, and typically how many would an organization set up? Is there any sort of typical answer to that, or is it really dependent on the organization?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So basically, we can support hundreds of zones on a single global file system. We cannot really say how many zones a customer needs because it's really depending on how they structure their file system. But based on what we saw and we already implemented in a few customers, our scalability is far away from what most of the customer needs. So as I said, you can configure hundreds of zones without any problem and be very granular.
Great. Another question that came in, Oded, around Ctera migrate. Are you able to work do end user, I'm paraphrasing here, but is the end user able to still work on the source NAS while the data migration is going on from the source NAS to the Ctera Edge filer?
So the answer is definitely yes. We build our migration tool to be very light, so it doesn't really affect and create loads on the source. So customers can still using the legacy NAS during the migration, And then once they complete the migration, they can do the cutover almost with a seamless downtime. So the downtime will be really, really minimal.
Great. Eh, Does Ctera 7.0 require a new license, Oded?
So in general, if you are covered by our PCC or our cloud care, and so the answer is no. You are able to upgrade from 6.0 to 7.0 and connect to your portal. There is one new license that is required only if you want to enable the local embedded AV license. So if you are looking to enable the embedded AV license as I presented before, then it requires to buy the security add-on. But other than that, all the other functionalities are already included, and you are allowed to upgrade to 7.0 in case you are covered with our standard support or PCC, our premium support.
Great, great. What sort of training can we offer to new Ctera users, Oded?
So we have a lot of online materials that are available already. However, if you are looking for more insight, or deep training, please contact your sales representative, and we will be happy to set a more one-on-one training, or we also do it by groups. So we have these options, and we'll be happy to accommodate it.
Question on the Mac Assist, Oded. Can users search directly from the Mac OS Finder for files on a cache share?
Yes. So definitely yes. This is the integration we did. So once you enable the indexing on 7.0 for the Mac, and you'll be able to go to the Mac Finder and just search for the file, and you'll get all the results in a second.
Okay, great. One more on the Mac Assist that we had here. I'm just trying to bring it up. When browsing files in Mac OS, how do I know which files are cached locally and which are stubs?
So using the Mac Assist, basically, by installing the Mac Assist, you are getting another layer that will create an icon overlay, and it will indicate for you which files is a stub and which file is actually stored locally on the device.
Right, thank you. We've had a number of questions about when is Ctera 7.0 available, or when can we download, when can we try it. Ctera 7.0 is available today, and was was publicly GA last week. So that is the answer to that question that we're getting. Sorry if we didn't make that clear. It is available today. Question, Oded, is a Ctera Direct a bi-directional sync to the object store?
So the first, it's a good question. So the first release that came with 7.0, we implemented only the upload direction. So the Ctera Direct currently is working only when you upload the data directly to the cloud object storage. However, in a month from now, we will also introduce inside the protocol also the downstream. So when you download the data, it will be downloaded directly from the object storage and not through the portal. So as I said, this is not yet available, but it will be available later in the quarter.
Great, thanks, Oded. I think we have time for a couple more. We have a question about ransomware here. I think this is ransomware is top of mind for pretty much every organization. But how would the Ctera Global File System protect files from ransomware?
So first of all, we have plenty of information on our website. So I encourage you to go to our website. You'll find a lot of information there about ransomware, because this is one of our key assets of our technology in our global file system. So basically, in a high level, how it works is that we have a built-in snapshot mechanism in our global file system. So every time that a new file is synced to the cloud, we create automatically a snapshot that it's actually happening every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, we create a snapshot automatically. The user doesn't need to do anything. It doesn't involve any user experience. And then depending on the retention policy, we are consolidating these 5-minute snapshots to either a daily snapshot or a weekly or a monthly snapshot based on the retention policy that the user or the admin defined on the global file system. And then in case you have a ransomware, you have the ability to revert in a single click to a specific snapshot. And it's not just reverting to a specific snapshot, you can even restore a specific file. So you can go live and start working on specific files that was attacked in a matter of seconds.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, Oded, I think we've got one more we've got time for. This is a question about, again, back to Ctera migrate. If my WAN is much slower than my LAN, wouldn't this migrate tool fill the cache on the edge filer?
So I think it's a very good question. So the answer is no. We implemented a throttling technology inside our migration tool, meaning that in case the WAN is slower than the local migration, we will automatically, and once we recognize that the cache is starting to get filled up like 90%, 95%, depending on the threshold that you defined, and it's something that the user can configure, we will start slowing down the migration process to make sure that the device and the local cache will not fill up. And once we will be able to evict the data to the cloud and free up the local cache, then we will continue again the migration. So we have this built in our technology, and it's very smart, smart migration tool.
Great. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's all the time we have for right now. If you did ask a question we haven't gotten to you yet, we will follow up with you offline. And if you have other questions that spring to mind after this, you can always reach out to me, Jim C. at Ctera, or Oded at Ctera.com. You can also reach our sales team directly if you have sales related questions, sales at Ctera.com as well. So Oded, thank you very much. Thank you all for joining us today. Hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining and learning more about Ctera 7.0.
Thank you so much.
Great day.
Bye-bye.